And that's why I said the people who are custodians of that is the government. And I think it's a question of cooperation in that case. It's a question of how do we, up to what level do the regulations, how do we use the regulations to inspire people to do the right thing or to bring out their expression without looking like you're suppressing them. So it's a question of interpretation. It's a question of, let us look at the play, for example, as we said. What are the scenes that we think are provocative, that we can regulate? It's not, I don't believe that Butere Girls or anyone out there is interested in coming up with a play that is abusive, that is aggressive. They are expressing themselves in an artistic way. And therefore, the regulator or the so-called the government or the regime or the teachers who are supposed to help the students or the creative people on stage adhere to the rules and regulations and the expression. Remember, the freedom of expression does not mean nikuja hapa nikutukane. It does not mean that you can abuse me just because you're expressing yourself. There are limits for that. And so the cooperation that we're talking about, as we said earlier, the play goes through several processes. Checks and balances. Yes. What you think is a scene that would would inspire protest, how do you guide those young people or that playwright or playwriter, how do you guide them to still express themselves but not censoring them? And I don't think it's a question of, here are the regulations, you keep them as they are. It's a question of interpretation and cooperation and discussing where we need to allow expression of the spirit of expression, freedom of expression to thrive. Yeah.
You've lived in both worlds. You've seen the best of it as a governance expert and as a creative expert. You've been an advisor to a president at State House.
Yes.
That's where everything happens. Do you think the situation was handled well? The media was barred from, covering the performance, but the voices were amplified online. Things have changed. So in as much as the mainstream media really wasn't there for, the coverage, everything else was live on TikTok and Twitter. Do you think, in your opinion as a Kenyan citizen, not as a government spokesperson, do you think really it was handled well?
I'm not a government spokesperson.
Yes, I'm saying, I know you're not the government spokesperson. As a citizen of this republic, who's seen the best in both worlds, do you think the situation was handled well?
I want to say, and that's what we started when we started this show, and we said, look, let us not add voices to already what's a situation that is unfortunate. And that is to agree to some of us that we've not handled it well. And it means that we need, therefore, to start looking at ourselves from a tolerant perspective, where you think you're not happy with a certain thing. There are parameters by which then we handle the situation that then, at the time of starting the festival, it was answered that all the issues surrounding echoes of war had been resolved and the kids were allowed to perform. And to me, that is how we should resolve things. Be tolerant as leaders.